Negotiating for a brand new car is easier said than done. That's why I typically recommend first-time buyers bring someone who knows the ropes and talks on their behalf. If you are too lax at the negotiating table, you might end up paying more than you actually have to. I was in this situation once and have been dealing with dealerships ever since. I am not saying that I am a pro dealer. That isn't my strongest point. However, I can give you the exact pointers you'll need to get the best prices and offers. Hello everyone. This is Ted from CarlandTV. Get in the back seat because in this episode, I am going to share some practical, not-so-mentioned tips on buying a brand new car and getting the best deals. Before I start, please hit the subscribe and notification bells. They help the channel a lot. Now buckle up and let's get back to the video. What I want to say first is that dealing with a car is more than just finding the lowest price available. I was so naive back then, thinking that it was the goal of a negotiation. It takes in a lot of factors, things that you probably haven't thought of yet, such as your preferences, your driving habits, and in some cases, your line of work. Those salespersons? Don't ever dismiss the things they say, even if you know that their actual goal is for you to sign the papers and get the keys. I guess the first step is to start on a shopping mode. Check all the dealerships, take a look at those cars that you have in mind, and start the negotiation afterward. Now, there are multiple ways to negotiate. You can actually contact the dealerships via email or opt for an intermediary buying service. The best way I can describe an intermediary buying service is a third-party service that purchases goods or services on behalf of a client, or in this case, you. In simplest terms, they work as middlemen, and they are the ones who would help handle transactions, negotiations, and logistics. With them around, you may just sit back and relax, but it would still be better if you were going to learn the entire procedure so that next time you already know what to do. Of course, the final boss of bargaining is doing it yourself. And when I said that, I really meant that you have to talk with the salesperson one-on-one, which could eventually lead to you going to the salesperson's boss. It's completely understandable if you are overwhelmed with the idea, but over time, you'll just get by. Now that we have the prerequisites, it's time to prepare for the actual deal. What I usually advise first-time buyers at this point is to arm themselves with knowledge. This is crucial, as the information in your hand can leverage whatever tactic you can use. Keep in mind that you are going to deal with sales professionals, and they aren't the ones who will yield down unless you know what you want, what you need, and every little detail in between. Here are the things I suggest you need to research first. 1. Your ideal car. Simply look for a car that meets your lifestyle, preferences, budget, and demands. Don't just pick something that is popular or hot. Instead, go for a vehicle that matches your expectations or a ride that will satisfy you entirely. If possible, compare your options one by one to see which one is the closest to your requirements. Now, don't really expect that there's a perfect car, but at the very least go to a unit that is the nearest to your. 2. Your credit score. God. People tend to forget this, but your credit score is one of the things these dealerships tend to probe first. After all, it somehow determines the cost of the financing. It's better that you know this information before you hit the negotiation table, as it will let you set the appropriate budget and provide you with a close to approximate estimate of the auto loan interest you should receive. So, suppose the dealership hands you a deal that's priced above your credit score. That's a sign they are trying to rip you off. 3. Your ideal financing option. Dealers often get the most profit once they are the ones who arrange the financing for their prospective buyers. You need to have the upper hand with this one, as you only want the deal to not hurt your budget in the long run. Talk to credit unions, talk to banks, talk to lenders, talk to all of them. I am pretty sure they will give multiple financing offers, with one or two being better than the one offered by the dealership. But don't let the dealership know that you already have your own financing until it's the right time to do so. In this way, the dealership might haggle better terms for you. 4. The best dealership. Well, not all dealerships are the same. They are in the same business, but not all of them will be friendly to you. All of them are there to make money, not friends, but opt for those that won't abuse you at all. Regardless of where you look at it, no dealership has a perfect customer satisfaction review, unless it's a paid one or something the dealership only made up. Sites like Cars.com, DealerRater, and Edmunds are among those reliable sources of car dealership reviews I know of. It's better that you check these sites first. Now let's go to the nitty-gritty aspect of negotiating for a car. First, negotiate based on your strengths. This route will prevent you from being overtaken by potentially unfair propositions. Let them know that you are entering a contract, and there should be terms they have to follow. Right from the get-go, let them know that you did your research and did some test drives on the car that you wanted. Inform them about the specific trim or model of the car you want to get. Again, inform them that you know the most appropriate price for such a configuration based on your research. Also, be blunt that you already made some calculations on the actual price that you need to pay, but in doing so, always give an assurance that your calculations also bring money to the dealership. Don't make the deal too one-sided. However, if the dealership can't meet your target price or they are unwilling to do so, it's better to walk away. If the dealership deems the target price viable, you need to follow these next steps. Start by bidding based on the price that the dealer paid for the car. You could also establish what you think is a fair price based on your research. You may include information such as the offers or bids given by other competing dealerships in your area. Of course, even with this information, the salesperson will stick to the vehicle's MSRP since it's set by the manufacturer. The sales guy might even hyper-focus on your monthly payments. Don't yield here. When he starts talking about the price, you should also bargain. But start from the bottom price and not down from the vehicle's MSRP. There's this tendency for the salesperson to stack the entire process at the same time. Most of the dealerships I encountered in the past have this habit of lumping things like the financing and the price of the vehicle into a single discussion, without even discussing each of them one by one. This is their tactic to confuse their buyers. When faced with this situation, the best thing you can do is to take things slow. Dissect all the items one by one. You need to agree first on the lowest price possible for the car that you want. After that, you can discuss the other aspects of the contract, such as the financing or potential trade-ins. The most experienced salespersons that I know are so good at manipulating the numbers, especially if they are aware of your ceiling. These are the guys that can suck every penny in your pocket, but make you think that you are getting a bargain. They can do this by simply overcharging the car, giving you overpriced financing with extensive terms, or putting add-ons you didn't ask for. There is one tactic I know where they extend your loan to a ridiculous period just to bring the price to your desired budget. At first, this practice seems advantageous to you, but if you think about it, this gives them the opportunity to charge you more while giving you less for the trade-in. They can even put higher fees and interests, which is somewhat borderline predatory. Just follow the tip I gave you. Dissect all the items, ask for the out-of-the-door cost of the vehicle, and never focus on the MSRP. That's the best price you can bargain for. When negotiating, don't be a bully. Don't act super tough or unmoving, thinking that you can intimidate the dealership and make them submit to your will. 10 out of 10, they will not. Such a strategy will backfire. There's a good chance they will ask you to leave if you keep acting like a kid. If you act nice, they will be agreeable as well. Just don't be a jerk. But then again, don't let these guys confuse you. That's why it's a good practice to bring someone who has experience in this kind of thing. They can minimize the pressure and give you better clarity, which in turn helps you make the right call. Also, a salesperson can sniff if you are desperate. You always need to act cool. Even if you badly want the car, don't look like you are drooling. If they get the idea that you badly want the car, you have already lost the transaction. That's it. They will start milking you because you already gave them the notion that you are willing to spend for that car. If the price is already too much, walk away. Don't get attached to the car, and next time, learn how to control yourself in front of the sharks. This also leads us to another point. Negotiations may require you to speak, but this doesn't mean that you have to reveal your cards. If you talk too much, you are giving them a lot of openings to attack your offer. Sometimes it's really better to say, "It's too expensive," or "That price is more than my budget." This is not being arrogant. You are just letting them do the talking. This strategy is helpful in making the salesperson make the bargain of his own volition. They still have to generate sales after all. And that wraps up this discussion. Thanks for sticking to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and share buttons. I know it's a chore, but it helps the channel a lot. Until next time, drive safely.